Our connection to nature is embedded within our DNA. The forest provides us with all the psychological and chemical attributes needed to live healthy lives, but our challenge is to learn how to reconnect with the living forest. Shinrin Yoku is Japanese for forest bathing, or taking in the forest atmosphere. This popular Japanese therapy represents a new form of nature-based healing. Shinrin Yoku was developed in Japan during the 1980s and has become a building block of preventative health care and healing in Japanese medicine. Researchers, primarily in Japan and South Korea, have established an extensive body of scientific literature on the health benefits of spending time under the canopy of a living forest. This certification expands the conventional Shinrin Yoku to include a more wild approach to the therapy. We call this Yasei Shinrin Yoku, which combines the healing abilities presented by the natural world with spiritual and environmental stewardship and incorporates wildcrafting, which includes a tangible understanding of the sentient forest. Yasei Shinrin Yoku, or Yasei, considers the expansion of our health purpose and well-being as being directly related to the work that we do for the benefit of the forest. The practice considers that we and the forest are one, and that through this presence, a true natural balance of energy can be achieved that benefits both the individual and the natural world. If we invest in the health and the growth of the forest, then the forest will invest in us. The medium of exchange is life force. Yasei considers that when we consume nature without regard for it, that we are not realizing the full potential that nature can provide for us. But when we create a relationship with the natural world, we will achieve the ultimate in health and spiritual benefits. Like all relationships, this means giving, receiving, and respect. The Yasei Shinrin Yoku practice involves a foundation belief and understanding that the natural world is sentient. So therefore, a forest requires the same approach to a relationship that a human relationship would require. So traditionally, when we dwell in the forest, we tend to have a purpose that involves some sort of consumption. Perhaps we are gathering wood or logging or gathering mushrooms, or perhaps we are even gathering energy and beauty. As consumers, we quite naturally become enveloped with self-interest without considering the whole interest. When we consider the whole interest of the natural world, we must consider aspects of procreation, which is a species' ability to regenerate and exist in a wild space in perpetuity. By creating a mission to ensure that this happens, a human being would engage in becoming a steward of that place and for the living beings that need to be supported. This requires that we place the interests of other species ahead of our own interests, which then becomes our relationship. In your studies so far, you have compiled an inventory and an understanding of ecosystems that you will be practicing within. These studies will probably carry on forever. As a Yasei Shinrin Yoku guide, this will be a life's work, to be the eyes and touch of nature that will carry a wisdom that will inspire others. In your life, you will carry teachings that may range from wellness and body practices to behavioral counseling, to biology studies and more. Utilize all of this wisdom to become the best Yasei Shinrin Yoku guide that you can be. For example, yoga applied to this practice will create a unique form of yoga, and so on. For the most part, this video will touch on a few of the Yasei meditation exercises that you can practice in the forest and within nature. Here Maria is seen applying the most prominent exercise in Yasei Shinrin Yoku, and that is simply sleep. Losing yourself in comfort and just having a nap allows you to relax and absorb energies and fight insides that become important attributes in the practice. Consider that plant guilds that Maria is placed within. As a guide, you will strategically place resting areas within plant guilds and trees that will help your clients. which is why it is important to understand the layers of energy that exist in the forest and how plant and tree relationships work. The act of resting or napping in the forest is important. It provides a means of slowing down and smelling the forest in the natural world. Mainstream medicine has rediscovered that medicines in small peptide amounts can be effectively delivered through the nasal route. Thus, plant-based vapors are capable of entering the brain and then into body-wide blood circulation. So Maria is absorbing thousands of different organic compounds, and collectively, these individual aromatic components are called phytoncides. As a guide, you will be constantly tasked with increasing dwell times in the forest so that your clients will spend as much time as possible immersed in this natural life force. Here we have Maria carefully approaching a ponderosa pine tree, this time with a cushion that she will carefully place next to the tree. This is the most traditional form of meditation and allows you to incorporate other methods of meditation and breathing from a range of different practices. I like to suggest simply being with your back against the tree in a comfortable position. As a guide, you will be encouraged to create a safe environment for your clients. Many of them will find these exercises very foreign and they might have certain fears that I call bears, bats, and bugs. At the beginning, it's very important to support their fears and not to dismiss them. Negotiate with them so that they can find their safe courage level, and by doing this, you will find that their courage will increase as they build familiarity. More than anything, you want your client to feel relaxed and with the tree and in nature. The trunk of the tree represents a power point in the forest, as food, moisture, and growth flow back and forth between the tree's leaves and roots. The trunk becomes the conduit of this flow, and as such generates an immense amount of biological energy, which becomes an emission of biological electricity. When we become close to this energy, we quite naturally tap into this life force. It is important to relax and to nurture this connection through rest, meditation, and breath work. Clients are encouraged to engage with known meditation exercises that they might have practiced, such as those found within yoga and integrated breath work. Between resting and napping and then meditation with the tree, this can become a two-part 30 to 40 minute session or longer. Maria is now moving to the exercise of tree touching. Again, this is a ponderosa pine tree with deep crevices within its bark. The ancient Druids believed that all of the wisdom in the cosmos could be realized within the deep crevices found within such tree barks. As a massage and therapeutic touch practitioner, Maria is literally applying her skills to this exercise, and in the process is giving the tree a treatment while the tree is treating her. This is a type of human-to-nature relationship that a Yasei guide should be encouraging. Clients are supported to get to know trees and move from one to another. As a guide, this exercise allows you to gauge how some clients have slowed down while others have still remained fixed at a more hurried pace. The hurried will move from tree to tree quickly, unable to become attached to the exercise. Sometimes the guide will have to challenge the client to examine the landscape found within the tree bark, or notice positive and negative space, even faces, in the bark. This is all in an effort to slow the person down. Ask the client, what are you thinking about right at this moment? And then explain that the idea that they have might be as a result of connecting with this tree. Urban dwellers spend about 90% of their time indoors, which has impacted their health and well-being, and by that percentage have created an indoor culture, which is then supported by a vast number of artificial environments and devices. At both home and at work, and even within our commutes, toxic chemicals and technological devices surround us everywhere, and all of this toxicity impacts our ability to perform various cognitive tasks, including problem solving and our ability to create. We are largely not aware of these impacts until we become immersed in the natural world, where our true nature is allowed to reboot. As a guide, you are tasked with helping clients navigate this process. Other healing arts can be applied to the tree touching method, including Reiki, which is a form of hands-on healing where universal energy can be transferred through the palms of the hands from practitioner to patient. In this case, the energy is transferring back and forth between you and the life force or chi held by the tree. Like in Reiki, tree touching can encourage emotional and physical healing because it taps into our inner knowing of what is at the source of our affliction. Tree touching allows a form of intimacy with nature that can change our perspective as to what nature is. This treatment can carry on for 20 to 40 minutes as we slowly move from tree to tree. Here Maria is demonstrating energy work with two trees, a ponderosa pine and a Douglas fir. We can find this meditation approach in both Tai Chi and Qigong. Approaching the tree with intention and then applying movement can be first chaotic, but as energy flow begins to link between Maria and the trees, there becomes a natural flow. This again is a relationship where there is an exchange of energy. As we might first attempt to construct some logical motion into this exercise, this could be interpreted as force. But when we activate a connection with the tree, a softness occurs. It is then that a yin-yang balance can occur in much the same way that is taught in Tai Chi. We can learn from the words of Lao Tzu when he said, "The soft and the pliable will defeat the hard and the strong." With movement, you are bringing in life force energy and pushing out negative energy that can be healed by the tree. Imagine you being in the tree and part of that conduit of moving life force. Movements found within the art of Qigong can be helpful in practicing the cultivation and balance of qi, or life force energy. We also see Maria finishing with washing herself with the tree's energy in a smudging process. Again, this treatment can carry on for 20 to 40 minutes and can move from tree to tree, or can simply take place within an open area in the presence of the forest. We have to remember that by breathing and creating movement next to a tree, we are applying flow to the microorganisms that dwell there. This is living air, and it is this air that provides our body with life force. So as a guide, extend the client dwell times, which can always be done by extending stationary and relaxing meditation and rest exercises. Dwelling in the natural light offered by the forest can improve cognitive functioning, alertness, subjective happiness, low-grade anxiety, and sleep. Researchers have found that our rate of serotonin production increases with the daily duration of ambient sunlight. Light therapy is generally measured at 1,000 lux, which is what we would find in a pleasant, shady part of the forest. This light environment can activate and improve many aspects connected to our overall wellness. But for now, let's go deeper into the human brain. Our pineal gland is located near the center of our brain, between the two hemispheres, tucked in a groove where the two rounded hemispheric bodies join. It looks like a pine cone, and the ancients knew it as our third eye. It works almost like a relay between our subconscious and the natural world around us. It plays a key role within intuition, dreaming, and how we function under certain environmental conditions. If you can exercise your pineal gland, you will be able to strengthen your ability to communicate with nature. Now we are moving down a trail and approaching a large ponderosa pine mother tree, which can be very important as a meditation tree. We will be sharing more about such trees as this course moves forward. At the mother tree, Maria is moving into a pineal gland meditation by finding a comfortable position, either standing or kneeling, and placing the top or crown of her head against the tree, and then simply relaxing. The mother tree will activate the pineal gland, and the communication can happen. It might take practice, but with a successful meditation, astonishing results can occur. We will go farther into pineal gland exercises in the future. But finally, here we have Maria demonstrating a heart exercise, which represents short, feeling meditations that link to one's heart. This can include shifting back and forth, practicing integrated breathwork, and feeling one's heartbeat within the tree. These two meditations can be 30 to 40 minutes in length or more, and ends with a tree hug, which is a cliche of sorts, but feels good and is worth doing. Thank you, Maria, and this wraps up our first Wildcraft Forest meditation video for Yasei Shinrin Yoku guide training. Please review the written course material that we have provided you, and we look forward to sharing more video presentations with you. Thanks for watching. I'm Don Elzer. Farewell.